Here he grabbed at the recording device, made contact with it, and I had to pull it away from him because last time one of the cult members tried that, she got a hold of it and let it drop to the ground, and I was very lucky it didn't break. Okay, so because I'm wearing the Jehovah suit, this guy automatically thinks I'm a bleep and bleep gargler. Check the time marker for yourself, but profanity warning. Anyway, he then says to the cult members, nobody's interested. People are interested in watching you jump off the Lions Gate Bridge. His words exactly. People are interested in watching you jump off the Lions Gate Bridge. Bear that in mind. Okay, and this one, he grabbed and forcefully pulled my arm with one hand, trying to bring me closer, and with his other he tried to rip the book away from me, and then later he said, I didn't assault you. And you saw him hiding from me at a meeting recently, and the elders getting together to keep me out, smirking, smiling, laughing, and threatening me with the police while they did it. She says, last week my husband was here and you told my husband to go kill himself. What did this cult member tell his wife about who said what to him? I say to this guy and a couple elders, when ex-members want to try to engage current members in conversation, please don't physically assault us. Please don't grab personal property away from us. Please don't lie to us, and please don't lie to the police about what was said. He says, we'd ask you to be respectful of our rights as well. No apology, no curiosity as to whether what he just heard was true. So this guy refused to read the letter that he wrote while I was standing right there. I don't have that letter anymore. The cop dragged me out. I couldn't go back in to get it. But to those of you out there that have gotten that, you've been invited to attend a judicial hearing to discuss apostasy, you know what kind of grandiose language they like to pump into that letter. You've spoken out against God's channel, you've spoken out against Christ's brothers, etc. And notice how he had no interest whatsoever in defending his words in a one-on-one situation, in a kingdom hall. 3-on-1 in a judicial committee after they've taken the time to get all their ducks in a row, different story. Oh, this poor guy repeated what he thought was my personal phone number 4 or 5 times, thinking he was, I don't know, evidencing his faith in the process. I asked this police officer why they're afraid of me, and he says, I don't know. And you know, I'm actually still waiting for an answer to that question. Why are Jehovah's Witnesses in Vancouver telling the police that they are afraid of me? So shepherds of the flock, do not let the sheep record their judicial hearings to protect ourselves. They will do that for us. Thank you very much. Okay, so he says we have a person. Notice how he didn't want to say the filthy apostate Stuart this time. I'll get into why that's important in a second. He says we have a person. We have a person who's disrupting our wait for it, church service. How many times did we pride ourselves on being able to tell one of Jehovah's prospective sheep in the ministry that actually, no, we don't meet in a church. We meet in our kingdom halls. So why doesn't he want to say we have someone disrupting our kingdom hall service? Okay, in this one they said that me raising my voice so that I could be heard over the sound of the flute player was me having a quote, loud tone, as far as I could piece together from the officers who spoke with me. Here he's supposedly on the phone to the police, giving my physical description, which doesn't make sense because the police apparently already have a file on me, so why does he need to give my physical description again? Why doesn't he just say, you have a file on him, his name is Stuart, and he bothers Jehovah's Witnesses, we're Jehovah's Witnesses, so that's a little suspect. And I say, I'd like to talk to them. I say, I'll be 30 seconds. Let me talk to them. I'll be 30 seconds. And all of a sudden his wife says, they have to go catch a bus. I can't use the phone. I can't talk to whoever he's talking to. They have to go catch a bus. So here you see him starting to talk. And in those time markers, you see him starting to talk as if someone has picked up the phone. And then he stops and starts again a few seconds later. And the reason I'm making a big deal out of this is because I'm getting more and more convinced that they don't actually call the police every single time. That sometimes they're just on the phone with another cult member to try to scare us, to trap us, whatever. If they were actually calling this much, they'd be doing it way too often, and even these idiots know that, so I'm pretty sure that some of these emergency calls to the police are just bait to try to get us to hang around, and hopefully, in our quote-unquote agitated state, then we'll actually do something where they do definitely get to call the police, because here I was just asking about the literature, and then boom, he's on the phone to the police? No, he was way too premature with that call this time, in my opinion. I could be wrong. We'll see. Here I try to go in behind the guy. I'm standing there waiting for the door to open. Before the cult member on the inside even opens the door, Joshua Tin puts himself between us and later says to the police that was me trying to force my way in. Here Greg Donnelly confirms that I've been disfellowshipped, talks to me about a few things, and tells me I'm welcome to stay as long as I'm not disruptive. And then I am not disruptive. I take in the whole meeting and then peacefully leave. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about this guy today. See for yourself. Okay, so this is the Kobe of this congregation. I ask him if Ron Peebles is in there. He says yes. Then he says nothing. I break the silence and tell him I'd like to talk to Ron about punching me in the stomach. He says, so you're saying that he punched you, Stuart? I say, yeah. He says, I think he says, that's too bad. But then he says, I don't understand why you're so angry with us. Not taking the bait, I say, angry, interesting, and then he walks away. Here the cult members say, I'd appreciate it if you didn't film me, and we don't permit videos, but then selectively film me and walk away, all in the same episode. This was a good one. Again, I don't really want to talk about this guy. Check the time marker and see for yourself now. I was standing there for a while waiting for him specifically, and yes, he did appear at the 14th second of the 19th minute. That is not a joke. Okay, thanks. Until next time.